Well, that's a pretty nice start to the day, isn't it? Literally 500 yards out the lodge, it's just behind me, but there's a couple of chaps. Joel turned up quite late last night and got up quite early this morning, but it's exactly 7:15 in the morning and I'm up, about, breakfasted, all ready to go. So I just thought I'd show you what a lovely start to the day. I got a big day ahead, 57 miles today. It is, in theory, primarily downhill. Having said that, my first hill is in, well, just round that corner there, and then it goes up over. They're all small. There is much more downhill than up today. I ate so much of all the food that some group of Americans in an ATV gave me, salami and cheese and stuff like that. It was okay, but I've now got a massive great bag of rubbish to pack out, but that's all right. I'm very low on water, so the first creek I come to I'm going to be doing a bit of filtering and then hopefully pressing on, as I say, primarily downhill to get to Pinedale, where hopefully I've got a host tonight, and I'm going to take a day off tomorrow and spend some time in a coffee shop and just re-question my life's decisions. And then you come out, you come out to this at 7:15 in the morning. The sun is already well up in the sky, and actually this is why I'm here. This is absolutely gorgeous. So with that, I better push on. That's not a bad view to ride towards, is it? Hoping that I go round them, not over them though, which I should do. It's all good. Only about 13 miles in. Glorious day, as the morning promised. Loads and loads of aspen trees back up there, all shimmering and chattering in the breeze. But I didn't want to stop because we were also quite close to a lot of pine trees, and at the moment the mosquitoes will go crazy if you stop in any form of shade. So I've just stopped here briefly just to change my water bottles over after I've emptied the first one and share that view with you. Well, welcome to Pinedale. I made it. I'm quite surprised at myself. I didn't think I was going to, but I stopped at a place called The Place on the way and had burger and fries, a side salad, a Corona and a slice of strawberry rhubarb pie, and that really helped. Topped on with water up, had a good gallon of water, and then got on the way and rolled into Pinedale about probably about an hour ago, 4:30, and I've come to the warm showers host, Clay and Christy. And when I got here, Joel was here as well, who was in Strawberry Shelter last night and also was at Coulter Bay. He does big miles, but he'd taken a rest day at Coulter Bay and still ended up at Strawberry with me yesterday. But this is the warm showers host these two caravans, and I have this little silver beauty here. I've just managed to use their hose and give the bike a blast off and get the worst of the crud off it because it was in a terrible state. And then my abode for the next 2 nights is everything on charge, as you'd expect. All the bags on the floor waiting to get unpacked, and a couple of beds, and I shall only need one of them, which is awesome. I guess if someone else comes in, maybe they share it, but I've had a hot shower. I feel super clean. I feel a lot better for having had a big lunch. So, and I've got the bike clean. So Joel and I are going to go into town and get dinner. I'm going to make myself eat big again. Going to take the bike lock the bikes up, and then tomorrow I can have a rest day and spend some time in cafes and doing a bit of note work, catching up on my notes and stuff like that. Maybe do my Facebook, all the rest of it. But for now, absolutely delighted with this place, and there's not a bad view out the side window, is it really? Good morning. It's Wednesday the 9th of July, and I'm on the road again. I've had 2 days off in Pinedale. Obviously the last video you'd have seen was me arriving and looking around the caravan, which has been a little haven. Chrissy and Clay and family have just been absolutely brilliant. They fed me, watered me, looked after me. I've had unlimited access to a bathroom and a shower. I've had 3 square meals a day out in town. Yeah, really, really good. Super hyped up on my electrolytes now, which I'm really hoping will make a difference to my physical capabilities. I won't run out of energy so early. So I thought I'd just show you a long picture of Pinedale High Street, Main Street, Pine Street as they call it, the Wells Fargo Bank, a plethora of eateries and places to look round. So a really good place to take a break. And now I'm off across the Colorado Basin, which is in Wyoming. It's 4 days now of hot weather. The difference today is I'm wearing a rucksack. I don't know if you can see that. I've got 4 litres of water in there. All my bottles are topped up. So I've got 7 litres of water, which obviously is 7 kilos more weight. I've got 4 days worth of lunch and tea. So I've got plenty of food on board as well. So the bike is as heavy as it's ever going to get. And today is about 54 miles into the wilderness. Hopefully, if I've chosen the right campsite, I'll be near a creek or a stream, so I can top the water up there if it's running. And the other big consideration for this, apart from the heat, is the wind. The trade wind blows behind me, so if I'm lucky, I'll get a tailwind. If I'm not, it can be an absolute pig. So off to a remote campsite today. I'll try and do a couple of little pictures on the way. The following day is to another remote campsite, but next to a wellhead, which apparently is running, last that people checked. The next day is off to a reservoir. So obviously I can top up water, but I need to carry it. There's nothing in between them, so I need to carry it each day between. So there's going to be a lot of time filtering each evening. And then on the 4th day, I reach the town of Rawlins. So again, carry water, but hopefully get to Rawlins, and that's a bigger town. And from there, I've got a couple of good days to go to Brush Mountain Lodge, which I'm very much looking forward to, and then on into Steamboat Springs. And that's as far ahead as my planning goes. I don't want to plan any further than that. But, you know, realistically, a day at a time is all you need. So I'm quite looking forward to getting on with it now. It's 5 to 8 in the morning. I've had a shower. I've had some breakfast. I've even had a cup of coffee, and I'm good to go. So hopefully you'll get all these in sequence. Well, you will. You'll see them all in sequence, but I'm going to have to probably do 4 days worth of video and then upload the lot when I get to Rawlins. If not, then it'll be 6 days worth when I get to Steamboat Springs. But feeling good, feeling a lot better, really hopeful that the electrolytes will work. Binned out all my Haribo and bought lots of peanuts and trail mix. So let's see how the day goes, and hopefully at the end of the day I can give you an assessment, see if it's all worked. So look forward to catching up with you later. Welcome to the start of the Basin. I'm on Lander Creek Road, which has just turned from tarmac to gravel, and it's midday, and I've just stopped for a bite to eat. I'm just wandering around because there's a vehicle coming. I don't want to be in the middle of the road. The prairie you can see in front of me, you can see the road with a car cutting along it. I've been on that for 17 miles now, and it's a bit laborious. The prevailing wind is allegedly going to be a tailwind, but I'm not sure I'm completely onto the Basin section yet. And at the moment it's mainly been a front stroke side wind, which is not great. It's not awful. I've made reasonably good progress. I'm 30 miles in by midday. I did stop at a little service station at Boulder and had some ham and eggs for breakfast, which to be honest was a bit disappointing, and I think the chap has charged me twice and ripped me off according to my app, but there's not a lot I can do about it. He wasn't having any of it, so it's only a couple of quid. So from here there is pretty much nothing civilization wise. I'm on this dirt road now for another 25 miles. And then I'm camping at the side of it in an informal campground. The scenery is
is very different to what I've had. You've still got these massive mountains in the far distance. I don't know if the camera will pick them out, but you've got these sort of slightly more they're properly hills. They're certainly not mountains, but then you've got these big plains in between with ranches with long drives leading to them and things like that. It's desperately hot. It's I'm not very good. I use either temperature measurement, but I've only got one on my watch, and that is it's 82 degrees at midday. I've just used my first litre of water up and topped the bottle up from the bladder, so to make the bladder a little bit lighter. But I did drink 2 big glasses of water when I stopped for breakfast, so trying to keep on top of that, and certainly have 1 electrolyte tablet. So yeah, day's not going too bad. Unfortunately, my saddle sores are, well, I don't know that my saddle sores are coming back, but my backside is sore from not having been on the bike for a couple of days, but that's to be expected, I suppose. Met a couple of northbounders. One of them said, oh, you want to push on, get all this way on? I thought, well, no, if I push on, I then end up with a really short day tomorrow to get to the last water course when there's another 55 miles after it. So I'm going to stick with my plan. I think it's the right option for sort of mid 50 days. I think it's 55 today and 52 tomorrow, something like that. But yeah, and as well, I think it's a much more manageable target. I think, you know, with my issues of my competitiveness, but also my lack of self-belief at times, and oh, can I do this, should I do this, I think actually having a little bit of a plan that you know is reasonable, 4 times 50 to get me to Rawlins, is the best way to go. I know it's bite-sized chunks. 50, I mean, there's a lot of hills to come, but in theory I could be there for 3 or 4 o'clock, so 3 or 4 hours from now. That would be good. That would give me time to get set up and get a lot of filtering done, which is going to take me quite a long time, and then, you know, have some time to chill out, cook a meal. I bought some freeze-dried meals in the big supermarket in Pinedale, so they're very high on calories, very high on protein. I thought, that's, never mind the money, that's what I need when I'm out here in the middle of the wilderness for the next 4 days. So make sure I've got plenty of energy, plenty of protein, plenty of electrolytes, and get going. So I think that'll do for lunch. There's quite a long chat. I'm going to get on down the road, and hopefully I'll see you in about 25 miles time when I find a campsite. Hello. Well, 51.5 miles in, just turned the last junction, I think, for today. Now got this, I've been on this gravel track since I last spoke to you. It's been pretty good. It's not been that washboardy, and it stretches away in front of me. I'll take you out the holder, give you a look round, because the backdrop is wonderful but quite distant. I mean, you know, a pretty big prairie zone. You can see the road winding away ahead of me. I've got a tailwind now. I've been battling it for the last mile as the road sort of went zigzaggy. So I'm currently not pedalling. There we go, buzzing along at 20 miles an hour, which is great. Nearly 52 miles done, and I've only got about 3 miles to go, if that, so this tailwind hopefully will push me there. It's been quite oppressive wearing a rucksack all day. I did use a litre of it up. I found 4 litres was cutting into my shoulders. It's obviously a very lightweight rucksack, not really built for carrying a great deal of weight, and 3 litres was much more manageable, but I have obviously had to stop and filter as well. If I've chosen my campsite correctly, and if the map didn't lie to me, there should be a creek just by it, so I can top everything up again, and then I'll boil a few bits up. I'll boil some obviously for my tea, and also boil some for brushing my teeth in and let it go cold. But anyway, I'm going to try and enjoy this last couple of miles, and maybe I'll speak to you when we get to camp. Well, welcome to the campsite for the night. Old barn penny. Quite pleasant. Just, I've been back on the bike, I guess, having had a couple of days off. It's always going to seem a little bit harder, but all good. I I think I've missed what was the informal campgrounds, but to be fair, there was absolutely nothing that would give you a clue it was a campground. I'm staring into the abject distance because I can actually see a pond going that way, so I can guarantee that they're going to go to the campground, and if I'd been there I'd have had some company, but I can live with that. Just over here where the bushes are, there's a river, so I've got access to water, which is awesome. I'm just off a little trail, sort of halfway up that greenery. You can see in front of me is the road that I've just pulled off of down this little bit of a slope here. I've got the tent set up, just about to put the fly sheet on it, but it's lovely and warm still. It's still well in the 80s. Got the bike up next to the tent, and I shall just get my tea on in a minute, and then I'm just going to put the fly sheet on and lie in the dark, I think, and just chill out and try and get out the worst of this heat, and at least out of the sun. Fairly happy with where I am, actually. It's quite a nice little site. It's quite blowy, but I think it would be just as bad wherever I stopped at the moment. That cyclist is a good mile and more away, so maybe they're going to push on. If they're northbound, they'll have a headwind all the way, so good luck to them. I had a reasonable amount of tailwind today, which was quite good. Some crosswinds, as I mentioned earlier, but not too bad. So tomorrow is a good 25 miles before I hit a bit of highway that apparently is not very pleasant. From the highway I go up to a place called South Pass, which is 3 houses and a dog. And then to a place called Atlantic City, which is about 5 houses and 2 dogs, and it's got a bar. So I'm going to try and get myself a good meal there, just save myself a bit of food, saves me carrying a little bit more. I'll try and empty out some of the water and change it. It's gets quite stale in the heat in the bottles all day. And from there I've got about 12 miles into the Basin proper to go to Diagnus well. But that's all for tomorrow. Say 55 miles done for today. Happy with that. It's 5 o'clock. I got her about 4:45, so a nice pleasant time to stop the day, and I'm going to go and get some tea and then hopefully get some kip, and I shall see you in the morning. Just enjoy the view. Good morning. So you see the windy road, that's where I've come. It's 7:45. I've been going just a little bit under an hour already. The sun came up over the mountains there and is dead ahead of me, as you can see. But look at this terrain on a high point, and I am right up in the middle of a massive basin, which is quite daunting. Hi there. So, just grab the bike. Woke up. I thought I had a pretty poor sleep. I seemed to be awake a lot. It was quite windy during the night. I had a little bit of rain, and tent was flapping all over the place, but I got through it, and that's good. Woke up, made some porridge, broke down camp pretty quickly. There was nothing there to stay for, obviously, and I was on the way for 5 to 7, which is probably my earliest start yet. Feeling a bit, I don't know, lethargic, a bit almost defeated before I've started today. 52 miles to Diagnus well. 15 miles, first 15 miles on this get me to a highway. I think there's about 6 miles of highway which takes me to South Pass, and then very briefly shortly after that Atlantic City, which is definitely not a city. I don't know, I'm going to get there, I can top up the water, I can have some food, so I don't know why I'm feeling a bit downbeat, but I am. There's not really much choice, is there? It's not like you can stop here. There is absolutely nothing. So it's a case of, right, shut up, get your legs on, and let's get going. So I'm going to push on, and hopefully I'll touch base with you. Let's try Atlantic City, but yeah, plenty of wildlife out here, plenty of deer at the moment, but that is it. Although I have just seen, I assume, an eagle. It wasn't a bald eagle, no whitehead, but it was massive, absolutely massive, sat on a fence post. It lifted off and 2 ravens went to mob it. They'd been sat nearby. And ravens are big birds, and they made this, they look small against this eagle. So yeah, that was quite nice to see. But I'm going to try and push on as quick as I can while the sun is low. It's quite a grey sky, as you saw, so I'm a little bit cautious. cautious that I might get some rain, but if it stayed dull like this without the rain, this would be brilliant because it's lovely for cycling it, not too hot. But we'll see how we go. Let's push on. So, a lunchtime break. Not going to lie, finding today very, very hard. Struggling with my legs, struggling with my energy, struggling with loneliness, struggling with the whole thing seeming so daunting. So I thought, well, why am I rushing? It was 1 o'clock. I got to this. This is Atlantic City, population 57. And as I came up, there's the Mercantile restaurant. So very, very old western town. I could go in, I suppose. I've been in there for about an hour and a half. Elderly gentleman in there. I'm just going to open the door. Just going to take a couple of quick pictures if I can, my friend. Yeah. So this is the lovely old Mercantile with a fabulous old bar, old cash register. It's not busy at the moment, but they have quite a lot of evening reservations. Big old pot-bellied stove. Had a burger and fries and a salad, and it was really good. So really enjoyed my time here. Gave me a solace for, I've had an hour and a half. I thought, well, what's the point in rushing? I got to the place last night and just sat and sweated in the tent. It was horrible. So I figured if it doesn't matter if I get there a bit later. It's 83 degrees at the moment, very, very warm, and I've got the biggest hill of the day coming up in a moment. I've got to go to the far side of town, and then it's 115 meters in 3/4 of a mile, so nearly 400 feet in 3/4 of a mile. So it's going to be a bit of a push, but that's all right. I've just soaked my bandana in the sink, got it all sopping wet, dripping down my back, which is lovely. Still carrying another 4 litres on my back, 3 litres on the bike. And I'm hoping I'm overdoing it. I'm hoping when I get to Diagnus tonight that's running, so I can top up water from there. And then really the big one will be tomorrow, the 55 miles from Diagnus to A&M Reservoir. If I can get there, then I'm obviously watered up again for the next day to Rawlins, and then after that it's a couple of sort of more normal stops, campsites in town, that sort of thing. But yeah, need to push on. I think I've got another 20 or so miles to do. I'm just checking as we speak. 21 and a bit miles to go, but get the big hill out of the way first. That'll be the big thing. So get that done, get on, and then hopefully another quiet camp. It would be nice actually if someone else rocked up. I think it's I had a lovely phone call home and chatted, but I am finding the mental challenge of the evenings where there's no one around to sit and talk to, and just got to hunker down in your bed, and that quite difficult, but that's okay. I knew there'd be days like that, and I've had 2 really busy days in Pinedale, so I expect that doesn't help, that you go from maximum chat to none, and I've got days coming up where there'll be people. So yeah, just bite your lip and get on with it. But yeah, beautiful countryside, bit arid, bit remote. I have been told that officially I'm out of grizzly territory now, although there are still black bears about, but that's quite encouraging to know. But I'm hanging on to my gas in case, because I'm a Brit. So all good. I'll catch up with you at the campsite. Well, there's a busy landscape then. Not. Made it. Diagnus well. Just over the 50 miles. A very, very tiring day today. Mentally tiring as well as physically. Found that hard today. then that's what the challenge is all about. Coming out here and making myself face my fears and my worries. And today has been pretty worrisome. But there we go. It's all good. Just put the bike on the stand for now. I'm just mooching about. I think I found a nice flat spot just over there. I'm just off the trail. The trail is about, I don't know, 50 yards that way. And I'll go back out there. But I was warned that Diagnus is ever so slightly off of the trail, which it is. This is Diagnus well, the bit within the fence line where you're not allowed to camp, quite rightly. It's a protected area. But you can just about see, I don't know if you can, the well over there. There is a fence, I don't know. Oh, look at that, marvellous. The cattleman's fence, which you have to pick up afterwards, which is fine. There's no cattle around. They've clearly been here. They always leave a trace, don't they? And this is what I've pedalled 50 miles across the desert for. A non-potable, not semi-permanent source of water. But I'll take that all day long. Easy to fill up the filter bag from there, apart from the fact that I should get eaten by every living, biting thing in the planet. And it's not just mosquitoes here, there's like big flies that look a bit like dung flies, but I'm hoping they're not horse flies. They've got proper teeth on them, I think. They're a bit of a chunk when they go in. So yeah, that's Diagnus well. That's my day. 50 miles. A little bit, it's actually 2 miles shorter than I thought it would be, which is great. Not even going to look at tomorrow's. I know where I'm going. I know I've got the route, but I'm not going to worry myself about the amount of altitude and the amount of work that's going to involve. I'm finding it much easier to take it day by day. But obviously, as I've said in my posts, I think I've got a real thing in my head about doing the Basin. I think it's just such a daunting aspect. When I chatted to the lovely wife earlier, she said, yeah, it's got inside your head, and she's right. I need to try and overcome that. It's all doable. Every part of this is difficult. There's no easy sections as such. So just get on with it. So all good. Gonna get the tent out. Gonna get some food. The sun, blessedly, you can see it's just behind a cloud. It's well in the 80s again today. It's so hot. That's why I spent an hour and a half in the pub, honest, just so that I could just lose a bit of time in the heat of the day. The corona was just an incidental side effect of being in a pub for that long. Don't know how that happens. Anyway, I'm going to leave you be while you leave me be, and I'm going to find a camp next to this little oasis and get my head down.